I'm going to do a quick demo of a training session. So for this, I had to change the parameters in the optimization so that they can uh, run, so that the training can run in this smaller computer. So I'm only using 2 CPU cores for parallelization not handled by TensorFlow. The parallelization handled by TensorFlow also has a maximum 2 parallel calls at a time, and the prefetching. So this is uh, the size of the buffer where you are going to store data for the GPU. Actually, in this machine, when I run the training, it's going to run in CPU. So, but this value will still get used, and it's good to set it to something your machine can handle. So in Kubernetes, I usually again have this at around 20 and number of calls 24, and then I ask for 24 CPUs as well. Yeah, so for this training again, this is a test, so only 2 folds of a test size of 2 and only 20 epochs. If you recall, in the command that you can write in the shell for Seadragon, you can specify the number of epochs that way. You can also specify that on your configuration file. So if you were to write it in the shell, then the value in the shell would just replace the one in your config file. And again, the point there being that you can use the same config file for different experiments, and by not, and you don't have to open the configuration file every time and modify it and save it and so on. You can just write your shell command. Yeah, coming back to this, I'm using a relatively small patch size. Again, memory constraints, only 2 inputs, so merge targets and merge OARs. And besides that, I guess everything else is the same. So I'm using the cosine decay. Again, this controls the learning rate scheduling. So how the learning rate changes from this value that I want up here of 0.002 to the minimum, which I suppose is 0.0001. So yeah, so the learning rate is going to be decaying based on the shape of a cosine. And we can take a look at how that looks like at the end. So yeah, with that said, I can just run this and we should see the code return to us some of the some feedback. So what we're trying to do, so we're only training now, ID information and so on. It tries to estimate how much memory is going to be used. So this gives you a sense for what you can and cannot do if you're just trying to figure out how much memory your system can. So how I guess optimal you can set up this file. So if you want to use as much memory as your system has available, for instance. And yeah, so here you see the training is already ongoing. So only 20 epochs. So it's just going through one. Yeah.